Hello, and welcome to the Otaku Clubhouse. And this is Sink or Swim. What is Sink or Swim? Well, it's where we discuss anime, video games, movies, and just about whatever media catches our eye, then give our first impressions of them. From top to bottom, we give our ratings of a swim, a tread, a float, a drowning, and at worst, a sink. Comments are always welcome, and of course, we're waiting to hear what you have to say too. Let's get into it.
We just finished watching a little anime called Jaku-Chara Tomozaki-kun, also known in English as Low Tier Tomozaki-kun.
Can't do that.
And it's an anime. I told you not to freak out. It's an anime about this guy, the titular Tomozaki-kun, who's really good at family. What is it called? It's called Battle Family.
It's something. Yeah, it's called like Battle Family or Attack Family.
Attack Family. And he's like the best player in Japan, I believe. He's super good about it. You know, we're introduced to this character talking about how much in depth he is, how he likes the game so much, how he's so good at the game, the deep mechanics. And he's playing against this little pretty boy who I guess is his rival. Not his rival, his classmate. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. He's playing against his classmate, and his classmate is being a scrub. For those of you who don't know, scrub is somebody who makes up excuses and justifications as to why they lose or why they're bad in a video game. So keep that in mind, write that down. He easily trounces his classmate, and then it's back to business as usual. His classmate is a bit of a Chad, and Tomozaki is a bit of a loser. So he just watches I refer to this guy as the main character of a fucking different anime, of a slice of life or something like that. And then it turns out he has a rival, which I was alluding to before, in the Smash Bros. Ripoff, who asked him suddenly for an offline meetup. This person turns out to be another one of his classmates, this time an attractive, outgoing girl. As many of you can already see where this is going, right?
Yes, in the fucking direction of lazy writing.
Okay.
So it's really gonna this is gonna be a pretty negative episode, or at least from my perspective. The girl, because we watched this, but let's be honest, all of our fucking eyes were glazing over and rolling into the back of our heads, because word for word, the whole time when we were watching this, I think Hawkaiser and Felix were just like, oh man, I bet you he's just gonna meet up with one of those pretty girls, and it's gonna be a pretty girl, and she's gonna be like, oh, I didn't know you played video games. That's exactly what happened.
Correct.
Well, sorta. It was sorta like that, but like she was like an asshole and roasted this nigga's fucking Nikes.
She was at first she was surprised that it turned that they were both surprised to see each other, of course. But then she started she started roasting this nigga. She's just like, wait a minute. First of all, who shows up to meeting somebody for the first time with those dusty, crusty ass shoes on? Yo, she was going in on this man.
Well, the character's name is Aoi.
Aoi.
And her name online was like No Name or something,
yes.
Which is the most that's the most fucking like chuny ass shit. Like that just immediately reminds me of No Game No Life.
Cringe.
But yeah, she was like, the instant that she met up with him, with Tomozaki, and she realized who he really was, she went from being the friendly at school, oh, I'm just gonna be nice to this guy because he's a loser and he seems to also like the game that I like type of character, to being the, oh shit, this guy who I had respect for, which is actually what she was thinking. This person who I had respect for as the top player of attack families in all of Japan is this fucking grungy, short, unwashed, uncleanly, unkempt looking loser motherfucker. What am I supposed to do? I feel like I have no respect for him. And it's like, have you ever met a Smash player before? It's not much of a surprise.
Don't get me wrong, she has a point, but I just feel like she was like super harsh here, and this takedown she had of him, because she, for some reason, built up this fucking Smash player in her head to be like some fucking 6'2" Chadley fucking diesel ass motherfucker. Like, no.
Yeah, not everybody can be
I
Fudo.
also think that first of all, come on now, that nigga.
What?
I'm just saying that baby gonna come out black. But that's neither here nor there. All right. I don't think this will be addressed in the series, but I think her philosophy on being disappointed in the #1 ranked fake Smash Brothers player was supposed to be like some paragon of humanity, when like you can respect somebody for a certain skill that they have at a certain aspect of their life. You don't have to take their whole package. I don't understand. Well, I understand why they did it, because that's the premise of the show, but I don't think her dumbass mentality is going to get called out just because not that kind of show.
So speaking on that, remember how I said that Tomozaki was calling his other classmate like a scrub, and he's like, oh, you shouldn't blame the game, you should blame yourself. Well, in a twist of irony, he started complaining, like, as soon as she tore him down, he's like, no, it's not my fault, no, the game ain't fair. The game of life. And it's like, oh, it's one of those fucking metaphors.
Which I feel like that could have been like a good metaphor if it wasn't in the first episode so thick. If they would have just had the part in the beginning where the guy he was playing with was, you know, having some scrub mentality moment, and then over the course of the series you hear him complain, and then, you know, they come with some big thing like, oh no, you acting like that one guy.
If it didn't just immediately slap you in the face with a fucking book on metaphor.
Yeah.
Like, no, I completely agree with you on that, because it did come off immediately like those fucking memes of fucking incels where they're sitting at home and they're like, well, the difference between me and Chad is, what is it, 3 millimeters of bone in my chin, or some shit like that. It almost sounds like a fucking joke with how ham-handed the series is doing it.
It's pretty. You know what? I realize why you dislike this. It's pretty similar to fucking Rent a Girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh, well.
I mean, I hope that the main character in this would be
less of a bitch,
less of a fucking irritant than Kazuma, but regardless, I think that it's not good. It's wholly boring.
It's pretty boring, but it's the first episode. One thing that they did.
Okay, but even. Okay, go ahead.
One thing they did that really got me, that just made me like almost like turn off the anime, is the girl Aoi. She ends up taking Tomozaki to her house, right? Because she decides to give him a chance and try to like show him. She's basically trying to mold him into the dude that she had in her head, which, you know, if a guy would have done that, no, I digress. So she takes him to his house, and he's in her room, and then she opens the door and she comes in, and he's like, wow, is that your older sister or something? He's like, no, I just took my makeup off. And it's just like, hold on. At that point, I'm like, wait a second, let me take a screenshot of her right now, and then I'll take a screenshot of her next time she's allegedly in makeup. And there's literally no change, bro. Oh my god, the art style for this is like...
I wouldn't even blame it on the art style. I think that's just...
I don't know.
It's a bad scene. It's a poorly made scene.
It's a dumb scene.
If the directors and the animators really cared, they would have had her have a visibly different design. Or, you know, we have her have some like really more Asian eyes, you know, very small, or like make her face wrinkly or something. I don't know. They could have even played it off as a joke and made her like super ugly without makeup. But as it stands, it's like a, come on, don't insult my intelligence, you know?
So this is based off a light novel, by the way, which not every light novel can translate easily into anime directly. Like some need to go from the transition from light novel to manga and then to anime, and this one just is directly I don't know.
Since you mentioned the art style, let's talk about how bad everything let's just say it, everything in this looks bad. The art style for the backgrounds it's trying to go for somewhat of a faded look, but it just, everything looks generic. the main characters in this look incredibly generic. Like, I honestly can't remember what the main girl looks like. She looks like...
brown hair and green eyes.
No, I thought it was like dark red hair and green eyes.
No.
I feel like she has one of the least most interesting light novel main heroine looks I've ever seen. And I get that it's meant to be real world Japan, but she doesn't catch your eye. None of the characters in this really catch your eye. There was a girl in there who had blue hair for some reason, and now I'm just like, but why though?
Well, when we were watching, I could like tell who in the classroom, for instance, is gonna end up being a main character. But that's because they do that fucking old cartoon thing.
When you know something's gonna move.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I wish they would have done something for that, because maybe it would made the animation a little more interesting. The only interesting thing animation-wise going on is the fights in the video game, but you only see that for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, just in terms of looks, this anime fails hard. And then music, the music was probably the best part of it, I feel, honestly. It had like a Honey and Clover feel to it, where it was kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? It actually added to the quiet backgrounds and added to the characters just sitting around, which was good. But the conversations they were having weren't interesting. The only interesting conversation was her tearing him down and being like, yeah, well, you're fucking... who shows up with these dusty ass shoes, bro? Who shows up with these fucking fucked up pants, man? Why don't you actually dress with clothes that fit you? Why are you slouching all the time? Fucking cut your hair.
Yeah.
It's just... it's not an interesting show.
I think that it might just be a show it's about people who the author doesn't like. And I think that the author is trying to say something on the sly, but he's not like smart enough to really do it with like any sort of precision or nuance. Or it might just be schlock that's supposed to appeal to the people who they're shitting on, you know, people with dusty ass Jordans and fucking ripped at the fucking thigh pants on.
You know what though? You know what? I was thinking about it, and I will give this series some points. I'll give it a little bit of unfair treatment in its favor. Do you guys remember this anime called Gamers?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, this fucking shitty fucking piece of crap series called Gamers that was supposed to like be a really deep dive into the world of gaming and like gamers in high school and their social lives and how they like interact, and it just turned out to be complete fucking schlock. From the tone of this first episode, I don't think it's gonna go down this route. And they're actually playing, real games and not fucking mobile game garbage. Okay, so just for that reason alone, I can't be that down on it.
I think it's going to be exactly the same as that. I think it's going to be exactly the same as Gamers. And I think it's going to be exactly the same, but worse in the sense that, at least with Gamers, it didn't look this fucking bad, dude.
I can't say it looks bad. It just looks generic.
That's kind of what makes it look bad.
Alright, so let's give our final ratings then.
Alright, well, I'll say this. I'll give it a drowning, because it wasn't awful, but it was bad. Like, it's drowning. There's nothing to it. It's very much one of those animes that if it was on, I would actually try to find something else to watch.
I'm gonna have to agree, bro. That's a fucking drown for me, man. None of the characters are really interesting. The premise is not interesting. I don't even remember it having music, to be real with you. That shit was background noise. I don't want to watch more of it. Back in the day, you had anime selects, and you would just watch because it was anime, even if it was like trash. This is something, like Akuma said, I would just, go outside, go fucking water the fucking lawn, water the flowers or something, man. Come on. Show sucks.
No, even though I was talking all that shit about it, I'm actually pretty neutral on it, and I like the opening that played at the end. I like the premise, I should say. and I'm not that sorry. Plus, I'm giving it bonus points for it not immediately being like Gamers. I could be wrong, could come back to it, and it's an even worse fucking love triangle, dumb shit, fucking people not being able to talk to each other. I'm already getting frustrated, but I'm gonna give it a float.
All right. Well, that's it. Guess see you guys in the next one. Maybe.